Okay, let's get right into it. We've all been there, right? You're online, you find something you just have to have. You click that Buy Now button, and a few days later, boom, a package shows up at your door like magic. But here's the thing, it's not magic at all. It's this hidden, super fast, and perfectly coordinated world of technology. And today, we're gonna pull back that curtain and show you the secret journey your order takes.
Seriously, have you ever stopped to think about what really happens in that split second after you click the button? Because that single click, it's basically the starting pistol for this incredible high-speed relay race that's happening completely behind the scenes. A little invisible baton of information just starts flying through this digital obstacle course, all to get that one package from a warehouse somewhere to your front porch.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're gonna follow that baton. We'll start with your order's secret journey, then we'll meet the digital workforce that makes it all happen. We'll see why their teamwork is so important, look at how companies actually get these tools, and then we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways you'll want to remember.
First up, your order's secret journey, and we're going to call it the relay race for your order. This is a story of your purchase, and like any good story, it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. So, the race officially begins the moment you add something to your cart. The first handoff, that's a checkout. With the baton, all your order information gets passed to the payment and logistics runners. As soon as your payment is confirmed, that baton is passed to the warehouse team. They run their part of the race, grabbing your item, packaging it up, and letting the courier know it's ready. And then, for the final lap, the last handoff goes to the delivery driver who brings it right to your door.
Now, this whole relay race we've been talking about, it actually has a formal name. It's called a business process. And it's really just a fancy way of saying it's the specific set of steps a company follows to get something done. In this case, the goal is getting that book from their shelf to your hands. Think of this process as the blueprint, okay? It's the master plan for everything else.
Okay, so now that we've seen the racetrack, let's meet the runners. This brings us to Section 2, the digital workforce, or you could call it the team behind the scenes. So who or what is actually running this race?
First, we got to get a key term down, enterprise. Now I know, it sounds really big and corporate, doesn't it? But really, it just means any organization or business. It doesn't matter if it's a little food truck on the corner or a huge global restaurant chain. If it's got people, processes, and products, guess what? It's an enterprise.
And here's where it gets really cool. This relay race often needs more than one enterprise to finish. They have to work together in what's called an enterprise ecosystem. Think about it. Amazon, the company you bought from, can't finish the race alone. They have to pass that baton to a partner like DHL or UPS, who acts as the courier to run that final lap. Their systems have to talk to each other perfectly for you to get that package on time.
So how on earth do these companies manage all this? Well, they rely on a digital workforce called enterprise applications. These are the specialized software systems, the actual runners that do the work of moving that baton of information from one step to the very next. Now this right here, as you can see on the slide, this is an absolutely brilliant way to think about it. Imagine these applications as a team of specialists. First, you've got the Librarian. That's your product management system, and it knows every single detail about every product. Then you have the host, which is the customer relationship management system, or CRM. It knows everything about you, the customer. Then comes the accountant, your accounting system, which handles all the money stuff. And finally, the dispatcher, which is the delivery system that sends the order to the warehouse and pings the courier. Each one has a very specific and very crucial job to do.
And that brings us perfectly to Section 3, the power of teamwork. Because, having a team of all-star specialists is great, but they are totally useless if they don't communicate with each other. This is where the real magic actually happens.
I love this quote on the slide because it just hits the nail on the head. For your order to actually work, all these applications have to be constantly talking to each other. The accountant needs to tell the dispatcher, hey, this person paid. The host needs to give the dispatcher your correct address. Without that seamless conversation, the whole thing just falls apart. The wrong item gets sent to the wrong place, or worse, nothing gets sent at all.
When this whole team of applications is set up to communicate and work together perfectly, it creates something so much bigger than the sum of its parts. It creates what we call an enterprise solution. And honestly, the best analogy for this is a grand orchestra.
Just think about it for a second. Each application is like a talented musician, great on its own. But it's only when they all follow this same sheet music, which is our business process, that they can create a beautiful symphony. This orchestra plays the full symphony, from the first click to the final delivery. It has a massive music library, storing all that essential data. And it can even blend old instruments, like a cello, with new ones, like an electric guitar, integrating all kinds of different technologies together. Okay, so a company needs an orchestra. That's clear. But where do they get the musicians? Well, that brings us to Section 4, buying versus building, or how an enterprise actually acquires all these applications. A really good way to think about this is like getting a suit for a big event.
As you can see in the table, you've basically got three choices. First, you've got COTS applications, which stands for Commercial Off-the-Shelf. This is like buying an off-the-rack suit. It's pre-built and ready to go. Second, you can build a custom application, which is like getting a bespoke, tailored suit made from scratch just for you. And third, you often have a legacy application, which is like your grandfather's vintage suit. It still works, it's classic, but it's old.
Now, each of these choices comes with a really important trade-off. That COTS, or off-the-rack suit, is ready immediately. A lot of modern COTS are delivered as software as a service, or SaaS, where you just kind of rent it online. It's fast, but it might not fit your business perfectly, and integrating it can be tricky. On the other hand, the custom, bespoke suit fits your business like a glove, but it's incredibly expensive and takes a really long time to create. There's no single right answer here. It's always a strategic choice.
And then there's that vintage suit, the legacy system. Look, it often works just fine, and maybe the whole business depends on it. The problem? It was made with old technology. That makes it super expensive to maintain and extremely difficult to connect with all the modern pieces in your wardrobe. It's a huge, huge integration challenge.
All right, let's bring it all home with our last section, your key takeaways. If you're studying for an exam or you just want to make sure these core ideas stick, this is the slide for you.
Let's do a super quick recap using our analogies because they're the best way to remember this stuff. So, business processes. They're the story of what needs to happen. That's our relay race. The enterprise applications are the characters in that story. That's our specialist team. An enterprise solution is when all those characters work together in a coordinated performance. That's the orchestra. And finally, how a company gets those apps is a strategic choice about its wardrobe, choosing between off-the-rack, bespoke, and vintage suits.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you order a pizza online or buy anything with just a click, just take a second and try to picture it. Can you see the relay race kicking off? Can you hear that grand orchestra of applications? The librarian, the host, the accountant, the dispatcher, all playing their part in perfect harmony just to get that pizza to your door? Pretty cool, right? Thanks for tuning in.